The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. 6 shirtless men carried a modern-day sun god down the red carpet on a golden litter. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. But fast forward to today, and that same golden god is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I mean, it remains one of the most, stop you in your tracks moments in modern fashion history. But the silence that followed years later, that might actually be even more profound.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
We really do.
And today, we are pulling from a massive stack of sources. I mean, we've got Vogue, Us Weekly, Radar Online, E! News, The Telegraph, and so many more, all to investigate this single, really explosive YouTube headline.
Right, the one that says Billy Porter has been secretly banned from the Met Gala for 6 years.
Exactly. So our mission today is to figure out exactly what happened on those famous museum steps.
And we are really getting into the mechanics of it. Because, this isn't just a story about a party or a guest list.
No, definitely not.
It's an absolute masterclass in the economics of gatekeeping. It's about cultural currency, power dynamics, and the very real, very tangible consequences of what happens when you cross the ultimate titan of an industry.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really understand the sheer magnitude of a ban like this, we have to go back to the moment Billy Porter essentially conquered the fashion world.
Set the scene for us.
Right, so the year's 2019. The Met Gala theme is camp, notes on fashion.
Which is a theme practically built for him, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. According to SBS Voices and Us Weekly, Porter didn't just walk the carpet. He was carried in by 6 topless men.
It's just a casual entrance.
Right. But when he stepped off that litter, he revealed this jaw-dropping catsuit. Like, we are talking 10-foot gold wings.
Wow.
Yeah, a 24-karat gold headpiece, and these custom gold-leaf Giuseppe Zanotti shoes. It was this spectacular nod to ancient Egypt. He actually told Vogue he wanted to be the sun god, bringing enlightenment and joy.
The sheer logistics of executing that look are just staggering. I mean, 5 hours of prep with his stylist, Sam Rattel, and the design duo, the Blondes.
5 hours. That is intense.
Yeah, and he delivered a theatrical performance that forced the industry to take him seriously. He pointed out that the word camp is, so often used as a pejorative against the queer community. So his goal was to elevate it to the highest form of fashion and art.
And he definitely succeeded. I mean, he was the undisputed king of the carpet. But then we fast forward to the 2024 Met Gala. The biggest night in fashion is happening, and Billy Porter is completely absent.
Right. And when you deliver the greatest entrance of all time, your absence leaves a very large void. People immediately started asking questions.
Naturally. Now, if we look at the public statements, Porter had a deeply personal reason for missing the event.
He did.
In an E! News interview at the Time 100 Gala, which was shortly before the Met, he revealed that his mother, Clorinda Jean Johnson, had recently passed away at the age of 79. He and his sister had been right beside her.
A profoundly difficult time, obviously.
Totally. And he told E! News, he said, I have to take care of myself, and that means not going to the party sometimes. He even joked to the reporters, Daddy's tired.
Which makes complete sense. I mean, he also mentioned he was throwing his energy into his music, touring for his Black Mona Lisa album.
Right, doing like 25 cities in 5 weeks.
Yeah, so on the surface, the narrative is neat and tidy. He's grieving, he's exhausted, and he's working.
But the Met Gala isn't just a party. It's the fashion industry's version of the Federal Reserve.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
And a Wintour controls the currency, which in this case is cultural relevance. So when a major player suddenly drops out, you kind of have to look closer at their bank account.
Exactly. And if we look closer at the timeline, his absence is actually stretched back much further than 2024. This brings us to a specific quote from Porter that circulated via Just Jared.
Oh, right.
Yeah, where he allegedly stated, I don't go to places where I'm not welcome.
Which completely changes the narrative.
Yeah.
Like, that is not the language of someone who is just skipping a party because they're tired.
No, not at all.
That is the language of a permanent exile.
It points to a systemic exclusion.
But wait till you hear what came next, because the real reason behind this exile involves a magazine cover, a pop star, and an explosive interview that shook the fashion world to its core.
It really did.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
Let's get into the inciting incident. To understand why someone who gave the Met Gala its most viral moment would suddenly feel unwelcome, we have to look at December 2020.
Ah, the Vogue cover.
Yes. According to sources from the News International and Radar Online, Harry Styles made history as the first man to ever solo cover Vogue magazine.
Right. And he did it wearing a dress.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate here for a second. Vogue is, at the end of the day, a business, right? They need to sell magazines to survive.
Sure.
Harry Styles is a massive global pop star with one of the most rabid fan bases on the planet. He guarantees sales. Is it possible Porter took a purely commercial decision a little too personally?
Well, it's a fair question, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just about who moves issues off the newsstand. It's about cultural appropriation and who gets rewarded for breaking barriers.
Sure, you mean?
Porter had been fighting for decades to break down those exact gender norms in fashion. He felt that he and his community took all the real-world risks only for a safe, commercially viable pop star to reap the ultimate reward.
And Porter definitely had receipts. He did an explosive interview with The Telegraph where he detailed a private conversation he had with Anna Wintour just months before that Harry Styles cover dropped.
Right, the Q&A session.
Yeah. Porter claimed that at the end of their chat, Wintour explicitly asked him, "How can we do better?"
He admitted he was caught so off guard that he didn't give the answer he really wanted to give. He later said he should have told her, "Use your power as Vogue to uplift the voices of the leaders of this degendering of fashion movement."
And then, just 6 months later, the Harry Styles cover hits.
Yep. And Porter did not hold back his frustration. In the press, he infamously referred to Wintour as, well, a B word.
He was incredibly direct, and looking at Porter's perspective from the source material, he accused Vogue of using the non-binary and LGBTQ plus community to elevate Styles.
Right.
Porter argued that Styles, as a straight white man, hadn't had to sacrifice anything to wear a dress.
Right. And just to be clear for you listening, we are impartially reporting Porter's critiques here based on what's in the articles. We aren't taking a side, just laying out exactly what he said.
Exactly. We're just looking at his viewpoint.
So he actually stated, "I had to fight my entire life to get to the place where I could wear a dress to the Oscars and not be gunned down. All he has to do is be white and straight."
Yeah, so from Porter's point of view, the infrastructure of the fashion world was actively choosing to reward someone who fit the traditional, palatable mold, rather than the pioneers who took the actual physical and career risks.
And he explicitly clarified that he wasn't attacking Harry Styles personally. He said, "I call it the gatekeepers."
His history certainly contextualizes that anger. According to The Blast, Porter talked about how back in the late 80s, industry executives straight up told him his queerness would be a liability.
That's awful.
They actually kicked him out of mainstream R&B. He had to claw his way back through theater, winning a Tony for Kinky Boots and an Emmy for Pose, essentially forcing the culture to make room for him.
What's fascinating here is the mechanics of how that gatekeeping operates on a corporate level. Porter did all the heavy lifting to make gender-fluid fashion a mainstream conversation. But when it came time for the ultimate validation, like a Vogue cover, the institution chose the path of least resistance.
Yep.
So Porter calls out Anna Wintour, drops a profanity in the press, and questions the integrity of Vogue. I have to ask, how did the magazine react? Because you don't just insult the most powerful woman in fashion without fallout.
Publicly, they played it perfectly. A Vogue spokesperson released a statement saying, "We of course regret that Billy feels as he does, and Vogue completely recognizes the tremendous amount of work he has done driving the conversation forward around genderless fashion."
We regret that you feel that way, the ultimate corporate non-apology. But what happened behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, the ecosystem closed ranks. According to Radar Online, top-tier designers allegedly rallied behind Anna Wintour immediately.
Immediately.
Oh, yeah. And this is where the economics come in. Designers rely on Condé Nast and Vogue for editorial coverage, which is what drives their sales. If Wintour is unhappy with a celebrity, putting your clothes on that celebrity becomes a massive liability for your brand.
Wait, really? So designers who aren't even owned by Condé Nast will pull clothes from a massive celebrity just to appease her?
Absolutely. The repercussions for Porter speaking out were swift. His Met Gala invitation was reportedly revoked, but more importantly, his standing with major fashion houses was completely shaken.
Wow.
You lose access to the clothes, the campaigns, the entire infrastructure.
He went from being carried in like a god to having his bank account frozen. And that's not even the wildest part. Later in the deep dive, we'll talk of that shocking twist nobody saw coming.
What's that?
Billy Porter is far from the only A-lister to be banished from the museum steps.
Oh, not by a long shot. The guest list is heavily weaponized.
Let's get into how that weapon actually works. Because getting into the Met Gala isn't just about being famous. It is an incredibly secretive, highly choreographed operation.
Yeah, according to Country and Town House, the financial barrier to entry is just staggering. A single ticket costs $75,000.
Insane.
And if a brand wants a table, it starts at $350,000.
You can't just wire them $350K and show up, right?
Not at all. Brands buy the tables, but Anna Wintour has to personally approve every single celebrity they invite to sit at that table.
Right.
She and event planner Eddie Kiernan meticulously curate the seating plan. They start planning it in December for a May event, and they have strict sociological rules, like they never seat couples together.
Really? Why?
The entire purpose is to force cross-pollination. They want a tech billionaire sitting next to an Oscar winner, sitting next to a cosmetic CEO. It's high-stakes networking.
But if you disrupt that ecosystem, you are out. Let's look at the Met Gala blacklist, based on details from the OSA video source. And if we group these bands together, a very clear pattern emerges. Let's start with the vocal critics, the people who, like Billy Porter, spoke out of turn. First up, Tim Gunn from Project Runway.
Oh, the Tim Gunn story is incredible because it exposes how tightly Vogue tries to control its own mythology.
Gunn was asked in an interview about the most unforgettable thing he'd ever seen in fashion. He told a story about watching Anna Wintour being carried down 5 flights of stairs by 2 hulking bodyguards after a fashion show.
I can just picture it.
Right. Well, Vogue's team allegedly demanded he retract the story and publicly deny it ever happened. Tim Gunn refused to back down, and they have been in an open war ever since.
Then you have someone like Naomi Campbell. She is deeply embedded in that world. I mean, she's attended the gala 17 times.
But the tension boiled over at a Harlem's Fashion Row event. Anna was supposed to present Naomi with an award. Naomi was running late. Instead of waiting, Anna went on stage, threw serious shade about Naomi being a very colorful person who was often late.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then literally left the building before Naomi even arrived.
Yeah.
When Naomi finally took the mic, she clacked back, saying she was happy she didn't have to deal with the other lady.
The other lady. And the fallout of that friction is fascinating. Just recently, Naomi posted a video from the 2023 Met Gala saying, "This is my last match."
Wow.
She claimed the anxiety was too much. She is essentially voluntarily benching herself before the system can officially expel her.
So that's what happens when you speak against the gatekeepers.
But what about the physical demands of the event? Let's look at the boundary pushers versus the conformists. We have Doja Cat on one side and Kim Kardashian on the other.
Right, this is where we see the physical toll the gala demands.
Though Kim Kardashian was notoriously banned in the early 2010s. The establishment thought she was too reality TV. It took Kanye West campaigning hard to finally get her in.
Yeah, I remember that.
And once she got in, she made sure she was never ignored again. In 2019, she wore that custom Thierry Mugler wet dress. And more recently, she wore a John Galliano corset that was so aggressively tight, she literally said, "I am claustrophobic. I feel like I can't breathe. I'm actually going to die."
It sounds extreme, but that suffering is essentially a tax she pays to the gatekeeper.
Why, though? Like, why would a billionaire voluntarily put herself through literal physical agony just for a photo op? Because enduring that pain proves her commitment to the fantasy. The gatekeepers initially deemed her unworthy, so by sacrificing her physical comfort entirely, she's signaling her absolute devotion to high fashion. She's proving she deserves her seat at the table.
And then you have Doja Cat, who actively rejects that reverence. In 2023, she vaped on the red carpet.
Which violates a strict museum-wide no-smoking policy, by the way.
Right. Her team claimed it was just flavored water vapor, but the damage was done. Then in 2024, she showed up in a wet T-shirt and a towel.
A literal towel.
Yeah.
Which is a direct aesthetic insult to an event that prides itself on unparalleled formality. She's basically daring the gatekeepers to ban her.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next from the world of pop culture, because we still have to talk about the final category of the blacklist.
The ideological clashes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is where personal values collide with the institution. Take Drake. He hasn't been banned. He actively boycotts the event.
Oh, totally.
He called the vibe fake and self-important. And during his It's All a Blur tour, he used a massive, menacing hologram of Anna Wintour laughing like a supervillain.
A giant digital manifestation of the gatekeeper herself. It is safe to say he won't be receiving a $75,000 ticket anytime soon.
Probably not. Then you have the political lines in the sand. Donald and Melania Trump used to be staples of the event. I mean, Donald actually proposed to Melania at the Met Gala in 2004.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that.
But looking at the guest list dynamics post-2016, Wintour made it clear the political divide was too vast. In 2017, James Corden asked her who she would never invite back, and she immediately named Donald Trump.
And again, we're just reporting what was stated in the interviews here impartially.
Exactly, no sides taken. And Melania hasn't been back either, reportedly after a snub where she ignored Wintour at Trump Tower.
And sometimes the celebrities are the ones drawing the ideological lines. Jamila Jamil publicly refused to attend the 2023 gala because the theme honored Karl Lagerfeld. She took to Instagram to call out the hypocrisy of the industry, celebrating a man who, from her perspective, had a documented history of cruelty toward women and marginalized groups.
She knew speaking out would cost her any future invites, but she decided the cultural currency of the Met Gala just wasn't worth compromising her values.
Here's where it gets really interesting. With all these feuds, these bans, these bizarre physical sacrifices, and political boycotts, you have to look at what this event actually is. It is a fundraiser masquerading as a party.
Yep.
In 2024 alone, they raised $31 million to preserve the Costume Institute's garments.
Which brings us back to the question of why the gatekeeping is so ruthless.
The machine survives entirely on exclusivity. If anyone can get in, if anyone can insult the host or vape on the carpet or wear a wet towel without consequence, the ticket loses its $75,000 value.
That makes total sense.
The guest list has to be held in an iron grip because that tight grip is exactly what generates tens of millions of dollars.
So what does this all mean for you listening to this deep dive? Why should we care about who gets to walk up a flight of carpeted stairs in New York once a year? Because ultimately, the Met Gala is a magnifying glass on how power actually works in any industry.
It's a study in leverage.
It shows us the harsh reality of challenging the status quo. Billy Porter fought his entire life to wear a dress on a red carpet. He paved the way. But the moment he spoke his truth and criticized the corporate system for rewarding someone who hadn't taken the same risks, he was quietly erased from the ecosystem. It's a stark reminder that speaking truth to power often costs you your seat at the table.
This raises an important question. If the Met Gala's themes constantly celebrate rebellion, camp, and breaking the rules of fashion, which is exactly what Billy Porter did so beautifully in 2019, what does it mean when the event itself is controlled by the strictest, most unforgiving gatekeeping in the world? Can true art ever really thrive under a dictatorship?
That is the thought I want to leave you with today. Think back to 2019. The golden sun god, 10-foot wings spread wide, bringing pure joy and rebellion to those museum steps. The art was spectacular, but the empire that allowed him to shine that night is the exact same empire that turned off the spotlight. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.